Hi there. Perhaps you've already heard of what tetrogen can do for you, and if not, let me quickly remind you. So tetrogen can help to regulate your leptin levels, which will help you to control your appetite, which will ultimately lead to better long-term weight loss. So what happens next, you may wonder? Do you have to keep taking tetrogen? Will you regain the weight back? What can you do to help keep your leptin levels normal? Unfortunately, it is a known fact that high fat food intake and high fat mass can interfere with leptin signaling in the body even after the problem of leptin resistance has been fixed with the help of a supplement, for example tetrogen. And unfortunately, a lot of companies don't talk about what happens when the leptin levels are fixed when you stop taking the supplement, because financially it doesn't really make sense because they're not selling you any more products. So I'm here today to give you a few tips about what you can do to help regulate your leptin levels once they are fixed without using any supplements. Hi, Eva the dietitian and science ambassador here from Tetrogen. So first, let's do a quick recap about what leptin is and what role it has in our bodies. So leptin is a hormone that plays a very important role. It's produced by our fat cells and it controls the amount of weight that we gain or lose, and it also controls how much food we eat in a day. Sometimes it's also referred to as the starvation hormone, the fat hormone, or the obesity hormone. So leptin's key role in our bodies is to prevent both overeating and to prevent starvation. When we have enough fat stored and we have enough nutrients, then leptin levels increase, and that sends a signal to our brain, and the brain knows that it should stop eating, it's had enough. On the other hand, when our body is starving or just has a lack of food, the leptin levels in the body are decreased, and that sends a signal to the brain, and the brain tells our bodies to start eating. So this is the system that's put in place in our bodies to prevent us from both overeating and from starving. And because we know that leptin is produced by fat cells, people who have a larger fat mass, so people that are clinically overweight and obese, actually have more leptin in their bodies because they have a larger fat mass. So because people who are clinically overweight or obese have more leptin, technically the brain should get a signal to tell the body to stop eating because it has had enough food. But this is actually not the case. And this is because the problem isn't with the amount of leptin levels that somebody has. The problem is that if you are clinically overweight or obese, the body becomes insensitive to the leptin. So that means that the brain either doesn't respond to the signal it's getting, or it doesn't understand the signal to stop eating that it's receiving from all this leptin. And this phenomenon in the body is called leptin resistance. And it can prevent overweight or obese individuals from losing weight. So that is why after getting your leptin levels under control, maybe with the help of a supplement, you really need to make sure you're doing all the right things and have all the right habits to help you to regulate your leptin levels naturally, so you can keep going with your weight management and your weight loss goals. So let's look at some of the things that have an effect on leptin resistance and what we can do to prevent it. So number one is being in an inflammatory state. And there's a few things that can cause the body to be in a pro-inflammatory state. One of them is having a high fat mass, so a lot of fat in the body. And another one is having a bad diet. So foods that are high in fat, refined foods and processed foods, they can all lead to inflammation in the body. For example, eating foods that are high in calories or high in fat, such as an egg, sausage, muffin or hash browns, have been shown to increase inflammation. There was a study done on mice recently that studied the levels of leptin in the body and the amount of fat in the diet to see what effect it had on the weight of the mouse. This study showed that when the mice had a high level of leptin, they did not gain weight and they were classified as being lean. However, when the mice were fed a high fat diet while the leptin levels were still artificially increased, this led to weight gain in the mice. This study shows that a high fat diet interrupts with normal leptin signaling to the brain. So the next question is, what can we do to counteract the inflammation in our bodies? And one of the main things we can do is to have a healthy, balanced diet. You can start by eating 3 meals a day. You can use the food pyramid as a guide to an all-round healthy, balanced diet. You can also check out the video in the link below about diet and inflammation in the body for more tips. Apart from diet, you can incorporate regular physical activity into your daily routine, and this is because physical activity has been shown to have anti-inflammatory effects on the brain. Another thing that can contribute to leptin resistance is an accumulation of lipid metabolites in the body. So this happens when there's excess fat in the body. And again, avoid foods that contribute to inflammation, which are processed or refined foods and foods that are dense in calories, and eat a healthy, balanced diet and have foods that promote an anti-inflammatory state in the body. And the third thing I'll mention today about what contributes to leptin resistance is actually having a high level of leptin in the body. So we know that leptin responds to the amount of body fat that you have in the body as well as to the food that you eat. So normally if you have a high level of leptin, the brain should detect the signal to stop eating and you should stop eating and feel full, but this does not happen in leptin resistance. So you can actively try to prevent overeating. You can start by tracking your calories. So an average daily need for calories for women is 2,000 calories a day, and for men about 2,500 calories per day. And if you want more tailored advice, I would suggest that you go to your healthcare practitioner and they can advise you on how much calories you need. So I'll just leave you with a few general lifestyle tips that you can use every day and incorporate into your daily routine. So number 1 is mindful eating. When you're eating a meal, make sure you sit down, you have enough time to chew, you have enough time to enjoy the food, and this will lead to portion control, so hopefully prevent you from overeating. Try to cook at home as much as possible and avoid having takeaway or fatty foods. If it suits your lifestyle and schedule, you could even try intermittent fasting. Try have a high protein source at breakfast, so you can add an egg or 2 into your breakfast, have a high protein yogurt, or add a low fat milk into your porridge. Make sure you're getting exercise in, whether it's your 10,000 steps a day, whether it's a 30-minute walk, whether it's gardening after work. Absolutely anything to help your body moving will help you to burn calories without you even realizing it. Make sure you're getting enough sleep too to allow for recovery, so 7 to 9 hours a day or a night is recommended. And if you're feeling stressed at all, find a way to relieve your stress so that you prevent emotional eating. So if you've gotten this far, let's sum this up. So after achieving your weight loss goals and after regulating your leptin levels, maybe with the help of a supplement like Tetragen, it's very, very important to continue to make good lifestyle choices every day, because weight maintenance and further weight loss depends on your everyday habits. So in a way, weight maintenance is even more important than initial weight loss, because it's what you do every day that will determine your long-term weight and your long-term health. If you want to check out any further information about anything covered in this video, please look at the links below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon.